2017 Wrangler National Finals Rodeo, and we're in the home of the champions, and champions on many levels, the MGM Grand. Chance Hayes, a tremendous contemporary artist. Chance, what an honor it is to have you down here in the lobby.
I'm glad to visit with you, man. I've been working on this piece a couple days, and then had a big show down in Florida, and then had a meeting in Vail, Colorado for another show coming up. So it's just been a journey, and just to try to get here, you know what I mean? Just to, when you try to get 25 pieces of art framed, and, you know what I mean? And there's, South Florida is nowhere close to Vegas, you know, and it's definitely nowhere close to Calgary. So like, I'm supposed to be up there this summer hanging out. So it's like, you know how it is, man. You gotta make wheels,
absolutely,
gotta do it.
Hey, talk to us a little bit about how you got in and what your inspiration was behind these paintings here.
Man, I'm originally from Oklahoma, and grew up over in eastern Oklahoma through my childhood. And then when I graduated from high school over there by Tulsa, I went out into the world there, and I went and got my master's of fine arts out in West Texas, and worked on some ranches, roped some calves, and trained a few horses, and worked with a few guys that trained horses and dogs too, and kind of adopted their way of life with my Oklahoma, you know, with the history of Oklahoma, the native history there, kind of the cowboy history there, and then it just kind of made a full circle, you know. And now I'm here painting, and it's like a blend of like what I would say like traditional Western and then contemporary. And I enjoyed when I was getting my master's degree studying contemporary modern art, and I enjoyed that. I really did. I enjoyed reading about it, the philosophies, but then there was a part of like the traditionalists, like on the CA, maybe the cowboy artist side, you know, that I like them too, you know, and I really love their drawing abilities, you know, their painting, the landscapes, you know. But really, I was more of I just tried to capture, my piece is more of just moments, you know. I kind of wanted to capture, you know, before a war, you know what I mean, and then after a war, and then like, you know, like just like this pony, this war pony, just the wash is kind of a little bit more faded, not very bold, you know, and I feel like sometimes less is more too.
Absolutely.
You know, and just learning how to stop is so hard. It's just like practicing, you know, when you're roping, it's like you do something good, you might as well just stop while you're ahead.
Now, let's talk about that.
You know what I mean? That's what I mean, that's just my like, and me and my buddy, we've been talking about that, is like you got to learn how to kind of, and art has really helped me with my roping, and roping is vice versa, you know. It's kind of because I've had to learn to just back off from it, whether it's my attitude's not very good or my temper's not, you know what I'm saying?
Cowboys don't have tempers.
Cowboys and tempers, like, but you can't paint, and you shouldn't be training a horse probably, you know, it's like, or it's just probably not going to go good. You might as well, and I've learned that with my dogs too, when I'm out there, and instead of screaming into some 40-mile-an-hour wind at them, you know what I mean, get a hand signal down and kind of work with them one at a time. And same with the paintings, work with it one at a time, take your time with it. And if you ain't feeling it, just
go on to another one.
Do something, go on to something else.
Now let's talk about that, because you brought up the roping. Not only are you a very accomplished artist and a painter, but you're pretty handy with the rope. Yeah, man, I've had my fair share of time in the corner of a box, man, whether it was team roping, bulldogging, calf roping. I've been around roping my whole life. My dad, I started off riding junior steers and bulls out in the Northwest Oklahoma Junior Rodeos with Casey Hayes, the old PBR bull rider. He's still getting on some. He is.
He's good. But he's like a lifelong friend of mine that I admired his talent early riding bulls, and so I knew I was going to be a little taller, you know what I mean, and so I started trying to find, it took me a few lumps though, a few broken bones and lumps along the way to kind of find that little niche, and I enjoyed calf horses. I really enjoyed how athletic they were. it's kind of like I enjoy border collies and kelpies, and I like cur dogs. Don't get me wrong, but it's just not really my style. You know what I mean? It's just, you know what I mean. And it's the same.
Absolutely.
I like those calf horses. I like to watch them work. And I really.
Let's talk about this painting because it's interesting. It's Sunday. It's the day before round 4, and there's a story about this was a blank canvas Thursday. Talk to us about it.
It was just a blank canvas. I brought it in. Security guy's like, "What are you gonna make on there?" I was like, "Man, probably come by Sunday and I'll be done with it." And you know, he just walked by just a while ago, and he's like taking a picture of it. And he's like calling his family and telling all it really is like I will sketch like what I'm gonna do. Like this oil painting will run right about 15,000.
Wow!
But I don't do any prints of it. It'll be that.
It's an original.
Yeah, the original painting. And in my time of this painting drying, I'll work on a watercolor or just something else, you know.
Now, this whole thing was blank Thursday.
Yeah.
Well, you had a little special help with this.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to us about that.
My buddy Timber Moore's daughter. She's a awesome kid anyway, but she was just, it's been maybe 3 years ago when she was really little. She was sitting here and the rope was like really close, and my buddy Rod, he was here when she was here, and like it was cool. Like, and she came up right next to it, and I said, "Do you want to work on that painting?" And she said, "You want me to paint it?" I said, "Yeah." I got a new brush, and I just handed it to her, and I mixed up some paint. I was like, "Paint on it." She's like, "I'm gonna mess it up." I said, "I bet I can fix it but I bet you do okay." And she helped me with this whole area right here.
Wow, that's awesome.
So I owe her probably already a percentage, you know.
Oh, that's what, $400?
If you're a calf over 25%, it's like 25% is the cut, I guess, is what.
Awesome. So we've spent a lot of time on this, but you do a lot of other paintings, and they're all around. So we're going to get some video of that. And then when we were talking, I mentioned that I'm a very good member of a great organization called Warriors in Rodeo.
Yeah.
And you offered up something very special. Tell us about that.
I got some pieces in here. I got some pencil drawings, some watercolors. We'll just go through. I'll let you pick something out, and you know, I'm gonna donate that to what you guys do, man. And
that's awesome,
dude. And I appreciate it. Absolutely. And like any way I can help, you know, and like it's the least I can do. And I try to do something everywhere I go, honestly. You know, and I feel like, you know, God's been good to me in my career, and He's kept some good horses. You know, I mean, I've been blessed, you know, to sometimes it's just kind of a blur sometimes. You know, you get up off your calf, you get on your horse, and same way as the painting.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a blessing, man. It's because it's, you know, sometimes you look for the answer, and then, you know, it comes, you know what I mean? And
now, all these paintings around, there's probably stories behind each one.
Yeah,
why don't we walk through and pick a couple and just kind of give me a short story of each one here.
Like this racehorse sketch right here, I was in Saratoga, New York. They've got the Travers horse race up there, and they've got this track that's the training track called the Oklahoma Training Track.
Oh, wow.
How befitting, I'm from Oklahoma, right? You know. And so my buddy Roger is an outrider for the training track. Super talented roper, super talented bull rider back in the day, just a great cowboy, saves a lot of lives of those guys, those jockeys, you know what I'm saying? And I just, like in the evenings and early in the mornings, you'd see them out there in the cooler part of the day. And so I just kind of came up with that. And
that's really cool. How about this
piece right here? I was looking through a book that I'd gotten from, I went to a rodeo camp, roping school when I was like, I was probably maybe 12, 13 years old, and Jeff Copenhaver won the world maybe in the 70s or
78, 79.
70s. And there was a book that God Wants You to Win that he had come up with. And there's a picture of Deb, that would have been his dad, riding broncs, and there was like an old car from the 50s or 40s, you know, I can't remember, but it was in the background, and it was a cool cool bucking horse and kind of old style cowboy hats and no vest yet. You know what I'm saying? So
and it's really cool if you look close on
NFR,
here too.
yeah.
NFR
2017.
So that's a really cool feature right there that not a lot of people will notice.
This right here just came from like I was just in a field thinking about doing a Native American war pony, you know, kind of before I did the big oil painting. And I still in New York when I was thinking about this, and I started it in 16, put it in my portfolio, carried it around like a year.
Wow.
And then one day I got it back out and finished it.
That's awesome. This one over here, I want to name that one. That's called True Love now.
That is a cool piece. And it is a couple 2 and 3 year old horses that we've got. And
so those are your own?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And it's all kind of, I don't want to call it abstract because there is dimension to it, but it's a contemporary abstract art.
Oh yeah, but for sure, like when you look at it is abstract, but at the same time, like you gotta, okay, for example, look at this. You gotta almost come back and look at it though, like if you get back like 20, 30 foot, you can see all the detail.
Yeah.
You know, I've even had people come up to me and like, oh, I can't see it. You know, I'm like, well, if you look at it from about 30 foot away, you'll see what I was doing. But because
on the eye, whose hand is it? Whose handprint is
man,
that?
I just painted that. Like,
Did you really?
Just like, and that was the last thing. Actually, like I wanted to, being from Oklahoma and like our history there, like I have so much respect, you know, for the Native Americans and what they've been through. You know, a lot of good friends of mine I team rope with, you know, that, and so there's a part of that, and then there's my Western culture. My grandma is a good night, so, you know, a lot of history there, kind of in the good night, cattle ranching world, you know, and so there's a, and then, you know, my uncle Ole Goodnight roped some calves, and he would get off the left, you know, back in the day, and so a lot of that is just history, like for me. And then I like the tooling on my roping saddle. Yeah. And I just took a picture with my iPhone and was just kind of looking at that and then kind of sketching. Cool. And then the conchos on my headstall, you know, I like that, and I wanted to build some kind of a design quality and make you look at that horse and respect it. You know what I mean? So,
I love the feather.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, it is
symbol of power.
Absolutely.
You know, symbol of power. So, you know, I'm just trying to do little things like visually, like I use the feather and these flowers to kind of, and then you
work out.
Yeah, like a triangle kind of.
Awesome.
A lot of people all the time, you know, I tell people like, people are like, try to talk shit on McDonald's or something that's not very good, and I'm like, dude, I think it's genius. Yeah. Yellow is a color that makes you hungry when you look at it, psychologically. And the arches, it's organic, the shape of it, you know what I mean? Yep. So like color theory to Coca-Cola, to, you know what I'm saying? Like it's, absolutely. But I love stopping and getting a Big Mac, you know what I'm saying? It don't, like, you know what I'm saying? But I understand what kind of was going down, you know, and like, and that's what a lot of people don't, that's what a lot of people don't understand is like, there's a bigger, you know,
a bigger purpose.
Yeah, just I mean, all the way down to MGM Grand. Look at the gold and the black, and you know what I'm saying. There was a lot of design elements went into that. A lot of people don't. They just walk by it and they're just checking their Facebook and they don't really think about what actually is going on. But there's a bigger thing in play. Absolutely. You know what I mean? And that's with my paintings, I can only control what I do, and this is my world, you know.
It is your world, and you got people around here and a painting to finish. But I appreciate it so much, man. Dude, it's been an honor.
Absolutely,
and,
man.
I appreciate the support.
Dude, thanks for coming by.
Absolutely.
Like, I want to thank Wrangler.
Let's talk about that quick. Yeah.
Got my own clothing line with Wrangler and stuff, and
if you're in MGM Grand, you can go to Grand & Company right here in the main lobby, and they have a rack of all your clothing right.
They're kind of running out of over here. There's not as many as there was, but there's some I think in there.
Absolutely.
You know, I want to thank Universal Media back out east in Pennsylvania. They've helped me get a lot of my art, and they're helping me a lot. And then
Of course, your buddy.
Yeah, Rod, like, dude, and just being here and just like I was telling you earlier, you know, we live in a new world, and we got to have, you know, we've got to have that thing now, you know, where we've got people
For
and family
sure.
around that it's a new world.
Yep.
And so.
All right, man. Hey, well, thank you so much, and
Dude,
I
thank you.
appreciate everything.
Come
Great
back
job.
later. I'm going to start tomorrow at 1. I think I'll
Perfect.
get out of here to Top Golf about 7 and hit some balls later.
All right, we're going
Watch
to
the
Reba.
rodeo.
Hey,
That'll be all
I love
right.
that. All right, Jason Hetland here, 2017 Wrangler National Finals Rodeo with contemporary artist Chance Hayes.
Right here.